AJ, El Presidente, Eddie Kane University. Hill gon' heal, regardless. You, Buchanan, Bethel High School, by way of 3-Man Weave, LLC.
Michelle, producer, Eighth Overseer University.
You can catch this wave from the Marlins to the Mariners. Doing things you can't believe. It's the 3-Man Weave.
So we do apologize for being a little bit tardy. I mean, but it's only 9 minutes. If you was a college, your professor said you had to wait 15 minutes anyway. So put your name on the roll, sit your ass down, and welcome to another episode of the 3-Man Weave podcast, baby. Once again, I am AJ El Presidente, and of course, I got
You already know who it is. It's your boy Hill. Hill gon' heal regardless, baby. Let's get it. Episode 93. What's the
92?
No, it's 90. It's 93, bro.
For real?
Yeah, this 93. It's 93 rolling, boy.
Oh shit. Well, damn. That's moving right along. 93. Yeah. I am sorry to everyone. Let me make some changes. I got it labeled as episode 92. I'm just out here tripping.
Yeah, remember you did 90 by yourself.
Oh yeah. You're right. Episode 93. Oh well.
You know, we're gonna run the 2-man game right now, the pick and roll game. You know, Cannon wasn't 100% ready to record after his surgery. But you know what I'm saying, as you can see, Cannon here in the comments, locked and loaded with y'all. So you know.
And so please, whoever says shimmy at the intro music, we do need you to follow the directions that will be coming into the chat here shortly.
As we do that, y'all know y'all can catch us on all major podcast platforms, 3-Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3-Man Weave _. You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. Let's get it.
So man,
where would you like to start?
That's what I'm trying to think. Let's just go ahead and just get into football from what we seen last week. Just go ahead, jump in right to it, man. That Drew Brees and that Saints, and I won't call it Drew Brees and Tom Brady. I'm gonna call it the Saints and Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Brees was looking cooked at the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, you know, that loyalty, that was one of the reasons why when you was talking about running back with the Steelers, that's one of the reasons why I'm like, you might just waste another year of your opportunity to get a chip by, you know, loyalty. And I understand, I respect an organization showing loyalty because half the time they don't show loyalty. So I do respect that. But we also know that those Super Bowl windows close very quick in the NFL. So it's just like a balancing act. Do you kind of force Brees out? Because now look how he goes out. Those storybook endings, they don't happen too often. You know what I mean? So to, you know, now have that terrible performance be the, you know, when people look at, Drew Brees last game, and you got to bring in Jameis Winston to throw a trick play because he can't do it. That's kind of bad, man.
But this is the fourth year in a row, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I didn't have an issue with them running it back again with him, you know, he made it kind of clear that this was going to be his last year. They made arrangements for his successor. You know, the offense was already a kind of a dink and dunk type of offense to begin with. The running game was more prevalent this year. I didn't really necessarily have an issue with it. I mean, the way he was going out has been the same way every 4 years. I mean, for the past 4 years, it's 100%. Been a tough way in the playoff because, like you said, the rigors of the season. You know, by the time the end of the season, that noodle arm, like Chris said, is cooked and it's well done by the end of the year. I just thought that that the pieces around him or everything surrounding him, you know, Sean Payton, everything. I just thought everything else was going to help. I mean, at least, you know, cover it up. I didn't think that he himself this year in particular, maybe that was just me ignorantly hopeful or whatever you want to call it, just didn't think that they were just going to let him go out like that.
I understand. And this is just a hypothetical question because I personally think that you do have to go in to this season with Drew Brees, especially that he's still gotten you there. It's not that you've squeaked in or anything like that. You've been winning games and you've been winning games comfortably, and the team still looks good. It's just as that season wears on, he's an old man. And the offense that they run, they still like to push the ball sometimes. Yes, they have that running game, but if you can't push the ball, and then you got a team like the Bucs, who linebackers was looking like they were wide receivers, it's gonna be it's gonna be a problem. Just because I think that the season, this wasn't a normal season, and I felt that it was kind of big with the Seahawks as well. Those two teams, home field advantage actually really does mean something.
Yeah, that played a huge factor. That played a huge factor.
And so not being able to have that home field advantage of New Orleans in the playoffs, just imagine what it would have been like if that was a sellout crowd and before the game they found out this was Drew Brees' last game. Yeah. Tom Brady wouldn't have been able to hear shit.
Correct.
And so I think it's just it does place things in a different atmosphere. I hate that he has to go out that way, but opposed to what we talked about last week when we talked about the Steelers running it back, I do think that they are in a good place with Jameis.
Yeah, they're in a position.
As much as people want to hate on Jameis, we've talked about it on this show plenty of times. That Bruce Arians offense is, it's boom or bust. You're gonna have a lot of turnovers in that offense. Yeah, 30 is bad. 30 is bad. But Jameis was known to be a gunslinger coming into the league. So he was gonna get you turnovers, but he was also gonna make some plays with that arm talent where it's gonna be like, okay, I can live with that. Couple that with Bruce Arians' offense where it's gonna be a high number of turnovers. To me, that was par for the course. But like I've been saying for 93 episodes, when Jameis Winston get LASIK surgery, watch the fuck out. And guess what he did? He went to New Orleans. They must got a better health plan over in New Orleans. They must have Aetna or something that covers that LASIK. So I think that it's actually going to be, they're in a good place. I'm not saying that Jameis is going to win them a Super Bowl, but I think Jameis is going to win them games until they find a quarterback who can win them a Super Bowl.
I agree with that. Like you said, it'd be another year in the system. Hopefully it'd be I'm hopeful for a full offseason or a better offseason than what we had last year. So he should be able to make strides in that offense. And like you say, Sean Payton is one of those offensive minds that we crown as a offensive genius. He should be able to utilize Jameis' strengths and minimize his weaknesses. And like I said, they should be able. Their running it back is going to be a little bit different. Eric said, "How can you force a man out that did so much for the city?" That's why we necessarily wasn't trying to force him out, but we know it's time.
Yeah,
it's time. And then so certain people, it's a tough situation. I mean, Belichick he was trying to move on from.
He forced Brady out.
Yeah, he was trying to move on way before then.
Because he wanted to keep Jimmy Garoppolo.
You got to make tough decisions. I mean, Brett Favre was forced out. Other people been forced out. I mean, sometimes it's a tough decision, and you don't want to make that decision. You want to you try to run it back, and hopefully you can go over with your storybook ending. But sometimes that ending is not so good.
And this is what I'll say. I know you're saying, how can you force a man out that did so much for the city? Colts cut Peyton. 49ers, they seen Steve Young coming up in the race. They was like, "Hey Joe, go ahead to Kansas City." So it ain't like Drew Brees is the first, and it ain't like Drew Brees is gonna be the last. Because once again, this is a business.
That is a business.
This is a business, and we also know that there are other times where a player can just be like, you know what, I'm going to retire. And then now that team is kind of like, oh, well, we kind of asked out. We didn't see that coming, or whatever the case may be. Or the same way you can trade a player. It's like, man, it's a business. Ain't no love. Ain't no friends.
Mm-hmm.
If we see that we can get better, or we need to move on and get a better opportunity, honestly, the good franchises, they have the foresight to at least prepare for this. Because if Aaron Rodgers' backup is anything, look at what the Packers have been able to do over like decades, where they haven't had to worry about a bridge quarterback because they've already had their quarterback in waiting. Even if they're not getting straight to the Super Bowl, they're not there, they have someone in waiting with the talent who knows what's going on, and they ready to go when it comes time. It looks like he's going to be on the bench for a while because Aaron don't look like he's showing any signs of slowing down. But that cliff also comes quick, so we never know.
Let me scroll back up to Cannon's question or statement. I think it was more so a question. Well, if everybody knew his noodle arm was cooked, why not play a quarterback with the live arm? Now, I'm going to ask you this, Cannon. Your Hall of Fame quarterback, Drew Brees, in the playoff game, the guy you've been hanging your hat on all these years. You mean to tell me you're going to bench him in this moment? You're going to have the balls enough to bench him.
And my thing is, I like during the game, like we looking at it like, yo, y'all might have a chance with Jameis.
Mm-hmm.
But think about what's going to happen if, like, hey, Drew Brees is talking about retiring. You say, hey, you know what? We're going to play Jameis. And Jameis go out there and play like Drew Brees played. And then you still have that unknown of what Drew Brees could have possibly done. You might not never be able to get a beignet in New Orleans again. So I think we talk about business decisions. Sean Payton, he was like, "Oh, this is a business decision. I'm not putting him in. I'll groom him, and we can start anew when we know Drew Brees ain't here no more. But I'm not finna do that. Not finna do that."
Well, let's get some credit. I guess let's get some credit for Todd Bowles' defensive game plan for the Bucs. I mean, a lot of at the sticks, a lot of, up in your face, a lot of redirection, a lot of making you throw it over top. And we know that you can't throw it over top.
Right.
We're going to make it, everybody was sticking on every receiver. Every throw was contested. I mean, that's a hell of a game plan to stick with it. And the knowing that you can't get me out of this game plan gives me the confidence that I can stick with it and I can call everything on this play sheet.
Oh, 100%. To kind of backtrack to the last question by Cannon, I do want to say, Sean Payton, you use Taysom Hill so much as a gadget player. Why not put Taysom Hill at wide receiver and Jameis at quarterback for a couple gadget plays? Send Taysom Hill in, jet motion, do a reverse pass with Taysom or fake it and then throw it with Jameis to get something down the field also. So you can use some gadget plays where you can get Drew off the field, but still have an opportunity to push the ball down the field.
I mean, Taysom was out that game though.
No, I know what I'm saying. Like, if you utilize Jameis the way that you utilize Taysom, like put him on the field, let him run these gadget plays, and he don't necessarily have to run the ball, but you can make it look like he's about to do some stuff with the ball to say like, okay, we need to watch out for this.
I don't know if the rules changed about the depth chart, but I remember that I remember the third string quarterback was deemed as like the emergency quarterback, and if he went in, the starter couldn't come back in or something like that. I don't know how they were doing the depth chart. So I don't know if that played a part in how, he didn't use that gadget as much. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I'm not even sure I'm not even sure that's still a rule. But even still, why didn't they use Jameis more? As because the trick play worked.
Bro, they have four defenders guarding a running back. My man's was wide the hell open. Traquan Smith was streaking down the field, but bucket that kid. But I mean, that sucks. The way that they've been bounced out of the playoffs the last 4 years.
Yeah,
So,
four straight. Yeah, 4 tough losses by almost 4 straight interceptions. But
Yeah, so
other than
it's
the
tough.
miracle.
It's tough for them.
But like you said, let's go ahead and get some credit to the Bucs. I mean, they came out.
100%.
Their game plan was, like everybody was saying that that picked the Bucs. They saying the Saints not going to be the 3 straight times. 3 straight times.
I wasn't buying into that. I wasn't buying into that.
I didn't buy into that. Go ahead, explain why.
Like I'm not buying into Tom Brady's not losing 3 straight times to anybody. This is a different. This ain't Bill Belichick and Tom Brady anymore. It was highly possible for them to lose 3 straight times.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like minus a couple interceptions and some bad plays. That's what was going to happen, because had the Saints been able to capitalize on those punt returns with like that field position early in the game, this thing would have been out of reach early.
Yeah.
But once again, the rigors of the season on Drew Brees' arm, it showed when he was throwing them, them ducks, and Devin Bush and them boys is out there playing duck hunt. Shout out to my boy Mike Adams, Wayne Woods High School, got that pick on Drew Brees to seal the joint. So salute to my boy. But yeah, I think it was very possible. So I mean, yes, it turned out that he beat him 3 straight, but that wasn't in the bag. It wasn't sealed.
Yeah, that's why and then 2 of those games was ass whoopings. Like it wasn't 2 close wins and 2 nail biters. It was 2 ass whoopings.
And it's hard to learn from ass whoopings.
Yeah, so it's like
you just throw everything out. Like all that shit didn't work.
Yeah. So I couldn't go with that. But once again, it's playoff time, and we can go ahead and give him his flowers. Playoff time, they showed up. Playoff Bucs, they showed up. Like I said, they had a tremendous game plan, but they're gonna have a different animal this week.
Oh yeah.
That bad man coming in town. In town. And they got smacked by these Bucs this year. That's a bad taste in their mouth. They look bad. That was one of Aaron Rodgers' worst games this year. They got punished from the gate. They got mollywopped. This bad taste in their mouth. This time it's a revenge tour. And it's gonna be cold.
Yeah.
It's gonna be cold. Only Brady's ready for that cold.
And even Brady said his blood thinned out from being in Florida. And I'm going to tell you, it's true. Yeah. Your blood, like you get used to being in a 90-degree heat in December all year round. Your body's like, okay, I'm cool. And I actually, I'm not sure if y'all familiar with Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. One of the things that he said was that's an advantage, because at the end of the day, he's sitting over there thinking like, they're feeling a lot worse than I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to this. I do this shit. I do this shit every year. Like, I mean, Mike Evans gonna try and catch one of them fastballs coming from Brady. Shit, a cold football is like catching a brick. Like that shit, like it's different.
You already know Chris Godwin got the drop issues not all of a sudden, but he got the drop issues.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio Brown got an MRI on his knee. Who knows what he gonna do? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Jair Alexander, y'all might want to get familiar. That's a dog on that outside. Mike Evans gonna have a problem.
Mike Evans, he got the touchdown monkey off his back with Marshawn. He ain't really get the monkey off his back. He just was able to get a touchdown. He ain't do nothing else. So it's going like, hey, you better pack your lunch, boy, because it's gonna be rough.
Well, on the flip side, Bucs had success against the Packers. They were the only team that had this type of success against the Packers.
Because I will say, it looks like the Packers defense is starting to figure some shit out. Because when they played like early in the season, till probably I'd say with about 4 or 5 games left, it looked like the Packers defense, they couldn't tackle a soul. They didn't know what the hell they was doing. The running game, abusing them. They were just getting killed in the run game. It looks like they figured it out. So I think it will pose a different outcome, especially with they're gonna have like it's going to be cold. Tampa's not going to be used to this cold. You
Mm-mm.
don't want to get hit for 4 quarters in this cold, regardless of who you are. If you ain't used to it, and then hitting in the cold, you throw. Hey, I know Levante, David, and Devin Bush, them boys is out there trying to tackle AJ Dillon in that 30-degree weather for 4 quarters. That 4-4 you run, Devin White, them hamstrings ain't gonna fire off like they do down in Tampa. It's gonna be a little bit different. So we talk about home field advantage. I think the Packers still are able to have their home field advantage, which is the goal.
They got it, but the Bucks are you don't run on the Bucks.
Right.
You don't run on the Bucks. The running game is still pivotal, for Green Bay. They've been utilizing it well. They've been a balanced offense. It just ain't just been Aaron throwing it 50 times. They've been a balanced offense. So making them one-dimensional, and then Bowles gonna blitz and Bowles. He gonna blitz. He gonna sit in that house. This ain't gonna be no cake. Well, this is gonna be a conference championship game.
It's gonna be a dogfight. It's definitely gonna be a dogfight. But when it comes to getting blitzed, I do have faith in Aaron.
I got all the faith in the world into him, but I'm just saying it ain't gonna be no cake. Well, I know it might have sound like we, I mean, I'm picking the Packers, but I'm gonna be scared. I'm gonna be scared the entire game.
It ain't my team. Fuck it. I'm gonna watch this shit with an open mind.
I got all ulterior motives about mine, but it's all good. Let's go to the AFC. They had some games.
Fucking Browns lost to Chad Henne. Bitches.
That's some divisional shit right there.
Hey, that boy Andy Reid. He got to call. Okay, go ahead.
Before we get there, let's show the Browns some love.
No,
nobody gave. Well, I'm going to show the Browns. Nobody gave the Browns a chance at all. The Browns fought. The Browns came out there and fought. They didn't back down. They were supposed to get blown out. Even the way they started out.
Sorry.
Even the way they started out, they were supposed to get blown out.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed up. Baker showed up. I mean, once Chad Henne came in the game, you should have, y'all had an opportunity to go out there and just, win that game or tie the game up at least. They fell short. But they showed out. Like I said, nobody had expectations for the Browns. I mean, it is what it is, but that's all I have for the Browns since you're not gonna show them no love. Let's go ahead
I'm gonna show Andy Reid some love though.
You show some guts, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like to call that play, because how often do we see when your backup quarterback comes in, they just start playing it safe. They just like, all right, fuck it, like just don't turn the ball over.
I mean, the beauty of a great play caller or aggressive play caller in a rhythm. Let me say that.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that he had the confidence that you're going to complete this pass. This is a moneymaker.
If you can't complete this pass, you shouldn't be in the NFL. Yeah,
you just might well just keep running to your car. It don't come back. So it was one of those plays, and then the way they did it, they tried to milk the clock to make it seem like they wasn't going to run a play.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to the broadcast, Romo saying it the entire time, like they're not gonna run a play. They're not gonna run a play. So now you're getting lax, like okay, they just try to draw me off sides. Okay, let me just relax and then sprint right with your backup.
I don't know why teams don't do that more often.
Teams don't have Andy Reid, bro.
And but I get that. But when teams when it's getting close to the end of the quarter or the 2-minute warning, and you come up and do your fake, your 2 fake cadences to try and draw them off sides, and no one budges, and then everyone gets down on the knees, starts looking around. Snap the ball or something, like catch them off guard. Do something where you can try and fake them out and catch them off guard and get that advantage.
But that's something like when you see that well coached teams do, or certain players do. Like how many times have we seen Aaron Rodgers catch somebody substitute?
It's almost like I see it every single game.
Or how many times he catch him with his cadence and throw a bomb on the free play. Like we don't see this every week. You feel what I'm saying? From other teams.
And the reason why we don't is because the good teams, the great players, the great coaches, they actually take time to practice this.
Yeah, that's
implement it. Because you know how many times I've seen like quarterbacks, they catch someone jumping off sides and they have no play ran?
None.
or it's like, it was a handoff, so let's just hand it off. It's almost like Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna draw you off sides
Everybody know.
if the receiver sees somebody jump off sides. I'm running to go.
Yep.
Like
just run as fast as I can.
It don't matter if it was a ISO play called going right up the gut. If someone jumps in that neutral zone and we snap the ball, I'm taking off upfield.
That's coaching.
It's coaching and it's just practice. It's just implementing it. So now it becomes second nature. You see it. Oh shit, let me take off. It's a free play. Free.
But that's what I love about Andy Reid. That's what I love about him as a play caller, him as an offensive game plan. Because even that he has Patrick Mahomes, one of the the greatest talented quarterback we've ever seen, blah blah blah, whatever. He still give that man easy throws.
Boy, we gonna get to this one too. But
easy rhythm throws.
That is why I believe it's a lot more about coaching than people give those coaches credit for. Because I don't care how great you are, you still have to put your player, especially a younger player, in position to build up that memory bank to see these things. So, okay, I'm going to give you a couple, quick drag routes across the middle. When you have the fastest player in the NFL, the hardest thing to guard is just him running across the field. I'm not about to just, say, hey, give me a 10-step out, or, fuck the route tree. I just need you to run from here to over there as quick as possible. Because if you just run straight across the other side, that cornerback, he can't get a hand on you. And if they in zone, you're just gonna break their entire zone. And if you see they ain't cover two, break it off, go upfield. It's like, okay, we know all of this now. Utilize your weapons. Patrick Mahomes, he makes beautiful throws. He puts some shit on the money.
Yeah.
But he also has a lot of, throws that go 2 yards that end up going for 60-yard touchdowns because of his playmakers. After, it's like, okay, bro, if you run a 4-2 and everybody else out here run a 4-4, if it become a sprint, you're going to win. It's that simple.
Like Cannon said, I'm sure Andy already had plays he knew Chad was comfortable with. It's called preparation. Keem said, definitely got to know your contingency plans ready. Like
that pick that Chad throw, I think that was a Mahomes. That was a Mahomes play.
What we gonna do is blame 100% Chad.
That was a Mahomes play. And Chad was like, "Make it rain."
That was 100% Chad. I don't know who Chad thought he was. Chad thought he was back in Michigan or something. Throwing up that boy. Like
Brady who?
And for no reason, all he had to do. That was terrible. That when you realize he was Chad, then you like, hold on, let me scrap this play out. This play, don't ever call this again.
Hey, look at the surface tablet. Don't ever do that again.
Don't ever do that again.
Don't ever do that shit again.
So the Bills. So the Bills, they handle their business against the Ravens. Hard fought playoff game, man. I mean,
oh, absolutely. It was definitely a hard fought playoff game. I knew what that game was going to bring, as we are in some of our other chats with different groups of people from different regions, and so I kind of expected a lot of the Lamar Jackson hate that ensued. But before we get to that, look, man, I have the utmost respect for Josh Allen for having that self-awareness to really improve his game, and getting I've never really seen a quarterback come into the league as inaccurate as he was and find accuracy. And he accredited to, doing some digital training, looking at his mechanics, breaking it down and seeing that his hips were in front of his arm and, his arm was dragging. That's why all of his shit was sailing. He was out there looking like Carson Wentz, throwing dump offs 10 yards into the stands. So, hey, look, you know what? This right here. Oh, wait, no, this one. Diggs is a pure savage. Diggs, he left the Vikings and he went to the Bills, and they whole offense changed.
Yeah.
They whole offense changed. That's a weapon on all levels of the field, short, intermediate, and long. Get your young quarterback weapons. Why? What's so hard about that? Do whatever. If quarterback is the most important position The Bills absolutely did it right. They signed 1 million offensive linemen this offseason. Was like, you know what? Y'all go out there, battle it out. Best 5 gonna get it. And that's what they did. They got a good offensive line, surrounded him with weapons, and their offense just elevated.
But like you said get your quarterbacks and weapons, right? Like,
Yes.
I don't understand where we went through this notion that we start penalizing quarterbacks for not having weapons or whatever, but you want to have weapons. Like, every quarterback wants to have the weapons. You're going to need weapons. Like, you're not going to continuously win. Stop letting the Patriot way fool you and thinking that you can go out there with Deion Branch and Troy Brown or whatever. Like,
Because that was a system. That was the triangle offense with Jordan.
Yeah, you're not going to do that. You're going to need weapons. Every quarterback is going to need weapons. Like you say, Aaron Rodgers needs weapons. Every quarterback needs weapons. Like,
Joe Montana and Steve Young had Jerry Rice. Peyton Manning had Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne.
You're never going to name a top quarterback without a weapon.
And even still, we talk about what Brady had, but I mean, he also had a team with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. The best season of his career, he had Randy. So you see what happens. But the reason why the Patriots can pick people up off the street is because a lot of the stuff that they have their receivers do, you don't need to be supremely talented. You need to be able to just be quick off the ball and separate. Go ahead and get off the ball, hit this whip route, be tough, catch these throws across the middle, and try and catch a seam route from time to time. They're not really pushing the ball.
But like you said, back to the Bills, like you said, Josh Allen, stepped up his game. He took onus on himself and improving his mechanics, his game. The team bought him some weapons. Got him some weapons. Stephon Diggs elevated his game. Because he was a good receiver.
Yeah,
good. Now he got to Buffalo and became a great receiver. Not necessarily just saying because of freedom, because the offense definitely utilized his skill set to the maximum.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've seen that man been moved everywhere, been doing all type of routes. We know he's a superb route runner anyway.
Because he got the skills to play every receiver position on that
field.
So
you move him around. So you just can't. That's why, like you said, you just can't pinpoint and double team him because he's moving around everywhere.
Absolutely.
Like you said, coaching.
Yes,
coaching has been the theme of this episode so far.
Ravens. What the fuck are y'all doing with Lamar Jackson, bro? Like,
handcuffing him.
Like, I understand you feel like he is supremely talented. I don't see the Chiefs being like, okay, we got Pat Mahomes, go be Pat. No, we go. You got one of the biggest arms in the league. We gonna get you fast. We gonna get everybody fast. We gonna pick up Mecole Hardman, Sammy Watkins, whatever the fuck we gotta do,
bro. They still run the option with Patrick Mahomes. Okay, but go ahead. But go ahead,
bro. And that's what I'm saying. Utilize your talent. You can't buy a Lamborghini and never get it oil changes. You got to do things to take care of your high quality talent. So you don't want just Lamar throwing to Mark Andrews over the middle and then you give him Hollywood Brown on the outside. No, you really nobody can stop Lamar when he gets outside the pocket. You know what you can do? Make it so that you have the top rushing attack in the league. Use Lamar Jackson off play action. So you put Lamar Jackson in the backfield. Do a zone read, RPOs. Fake the handoff to a high quality running back, and then have him roll out. Give him an option to run the football, throw the football. High-low concepts. Mark Andrews running across low. Hollywood Brown running across deep. And then have a dump off just sitting in the middle of the field. Don't just handcuff him and put all of his routes crowded in the middle of the field. Because now, we know. I'm just gonna the book on Lamar Jackson. Hey, look, just cut the middle of the field off.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's why I think Greg Roman, he either needs to update his Ask Madden card,
Yeah,
or he got to go.
easily.
He got to go because he's handcuffing him, and it gets stale to a point because you look at what he's done with mobile quarterbacks. After people kind of get hit, it gets stale.
Yeah.
Like, and the reason why it gets hit is like, you know what? We're not going to really put a whole bunch of pressure on you so you can escape the pocket. We're going to do whatever we can with 4 or 5. And outside of that, everybody else just going to drop back. We're going to crowd the middle of this field and do what they got to do. And that's what's happening.
But Keem says, give us a healthy O-line.
I don't want to hear that because how many O-lines ain't healthy? Bakhtiari might be the best left tackle in the game, and he ain't been there for the Packers. Everybody hurt, bro. So it's not about a healthy O-line. It's about scheming people open. A
couple of big-bodied receivers, Hollywood in the slot, and the quarterback coach that perfects his accuracy. And I do understand that. Because Josh Allen just showed us, because they used to tell us all the time, you can't teach accuracy. If you're not accurate, you're just not going to get, you're not going to just.
And you know accurate. What? I might agree with that. I might agree with that. I might agree that a QB coach can't come in and teach you accuracy. But I do believe if you say, you know what, I want to get better, you can work on yourself to become accurate.
But
because that's been proven. Because I've seen Lamar Jackson be accurate. But also, I think Lamar Jackson, some of those passes, like when I was watching that game, Lamar Jackson was throwing off his back foot, floating shit. And that's the same shit that Josh Allen was talking about. He was sitting on his back foot, relying on his arm strength, just straight his arm, and just flicking that shit. And when you're throwing off your back foot, you're always going to miss high. It's the same shit I used to say about Cam. Cam used to throw off his back foot. He would always miss high. It's the same shit being in baseball. If you don't follow through on your throws, guess what? Your pitch is always going to be up in the zone, and they're going to take your ass yard every time. And in football, they're going to pick that shit all the time.
Harbaugh is stuck in his mindset that the defense will play Ravens defense instead of going offense first.
Hey, that whole saying defense wins championships, that shit is out the window in the NFL now. Right now, it's all about offense. Look.
I had a feeling you were gonna say this too.
It's bend but don't break. Like, you need the quarterback. You need that offense. You need to have the ability to really put up points.
Your defense is going to have to show up.
They're gonna have to show up, but they're not gonna win you a championship.
Did the Chiefs? What did the Chiefs do last against? Didn't they get an interception?
Yeah, they got an interception.
Did they get a stop?
They got to stop. I'm saying
show up?
once again.
Did they show up?
Oh, absolutely. But I'm not saying that you can't. I'm not saying you could put me out there at nose tackle. What I'm saying is, you need to have. You should probably want a top 10 offense over a top 10 defense.
I mean, of course, but
that's all I'm saying.
Okay, because I wanted to say, because the Bills only scored 17 points.
I understand that.
I
understand that. But what I'm saying, to get to this point, where do the Bills rank?
You go. What are the Bills rank? The Bills. I mean,
the Bills in the top 5. They scored 30 points a game.
Yeah, offensively.
Yeah, offensively, and that's my point. To get here, you need an offense. I'm not saying that you can just be, a paper bag on defense. But what I'm saying is you need to be able to put up points. Your defense is a plus. Because once again, we said the Packers, it's the same dudes out there on defense. They just learned how to tackle. That's all.
Statistically, but they had a good defense last year. They was a good defense last year. They couldn't stop the run. That was their Achilles heel. But
they still can't stop that shit now.
But they're built. I mean, of course, you can't have everything, but they're built for it. If their team get a lead, which their team normally does, they put their ears back and they rush the passer. That's how they built their defense.
Okay,
they still got a defense. I'm not buying the simple fact that defense don't matter no more.
Let me not get my point misconstrued. I'm not saying don't ever try shit on your defense. I'm saying that defense wins championships should be offense wins championships. Because when you say defense wins championships, don't mean you can go out there and just have your defense hold somebody to 0 points and you're going to win the game, because that ain't happening. You still need offense. What I'm saying now is you should probably want the way that the game is, like the way that the rules are, You would much rather have an offense that scores 30 points and a middle of the road defense than a middle of the road offense and a defense that's going to be top 10. That's all I'm saying.
We got a whole off season to get on that point.
Okay.
But it is what it is. So who you got again? So who you got? Because Eric said earlier, and we way down here on the comments now. He said, the Chiefs gonna win with Chad Henne.
Oh, Chad Henne not gonna play
at all.
Chad Henne's not Chad Henne might be in some sweats. He might be in a Nike Tech suit, sitting on the sideline, drinking some 19 crimes with me. Because guess what? Chad Henne ain't gonna play.
Yeah.
For one, when that injury happened, I said, "Hey, that's not a concussion. Something else is different." Like I think he got caught in the rear naked choke real quick. Lost the oxygen, blacked out real quick, and that's why he was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, you say that in the comments, and yeah.
But so he doesn't have to clear concussion protocol. Well, if they're not deeming a concussion because he's already passed his test. So if he's passed his test, I don't think he has to go through concussion protocol. We just need to know if that nerve or whatever they're saying happened works right.
It was some mixed reports that they said he passed the concussion, and then they say he was still in concussion protocol. But I don't give a damn what they say. He playing Sunday. I
guarantee you the NFL gonna be like, "Hey, bro, he ain't got no concussion. He good.
He playing Sunday."
Hey, bro, that foot, they gonna put a shot in that, and he gonna be good to go.
It's gonna play a factor because, like I said, now they got to like the Bills gonna have something to target.
They gonna hit some gator rolls on that shit. Patty is cleared. Oh yeah, nah. Hey, but whiplash ain't no joke.
Facts.
Like, man, listen, I just want to say, for all those people who talk about football players being injury prone and shit like that, you go out there and get some of the injuries that these football players have and just go to work the next day.
Bro, I jammed my thumb one day, almost called out.
You see what I'm saying? Hey, Aaron Donald was out here playing with fractured rib cartilage.
Yeah.
And
in the D line, in the trenches.
In the trenches, and every time they going hitting them with body shots, and he's still playing through that shit. I guarantee y'all, if y'all get bruised ribs, you're not getting out the bed without shedding a tear.
Yeah, so we got to keep things in perspective.
So I hate hearing like people talking about Lamar faked the injury. Like, why would Lamar fake an injury?
Because, like I said, if you already got it in your head that Lamar is never going to be able to throw, or you don't like Lamar, he's a running back, nothing's going to change your path. You're waiting for a failure moment. You're waiting for it. That's why I say nobody said anything last week. But now all of a sudden this week, now all of a sudden he can't throw again. But when he beat the Titans, everybody was cool. Everybody like, oh, look at him standing on the sideline. Oh, he ain't shake their head. Everybody loving Lamar last week.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, look, hey, we don't forget. We got the scouting report on some of y'all. So when you come back and trying to throw shade, we got the receipts.
They're going to move the goalposts on every arc. Like I said, they're going to be quiet. They're going to be quiet until a moment. Like I said, this was a moment. He threw it late interception that, was a pick six, And like I said, if you already had your mind made up that he's not going to be a good quarterback, a passing quarterback, nothing's going to change your mind unless he go out there and throw for 5,000 yards. And then even then, you probably going to say, well, the defense is changed. You probably make an excuse about the rule changes or something. But it is what it is. People stuck in their ways. They can't admit when they're wrong, or they just can't give it up. Right.
And the one thing that I hate about the Lamar criticism is hearing a lot of people say, well, if you take his legs and only make him throw the ball, that's not a part of it, because that's a part of his game. About 6 years ago, Aaron Rodgers was probably one of the better running quarterbacks in the league. People don't want to talk about that, but Aaron Rodgers could get out the pocket.
Yeah.
Remember Andrew Luck? Andrew Luck was a good running quarterback.
Part of the game plan.
So you can't say, oh, if you take Lamar's legs out, if you take Andrew Luck's legs away from him, a lot of stuff that makes Andrew Luck a threat kind of diminishes, because we all talk about quarterbacks that are statues because now if you have a statue out there, that's when you really need to have that O-line in front of them and stuff like that.
But the same thing they want to criticize like Lamar for, they want to praise others for.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen is a running quarterback. Like Josh Allen.
Bro, if you look at last year's numbers and if Josh Allen couldn't run, he shouldn't have been in the league.
You know, it's a fact.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear none of that. It's an all-encompassing thing. Your talents are your talents, and your talents are what got you there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lamar Jackson's arm may have not got him to the NFL, but guess what? The ability that got him there supplements what he may lack in accuracy. But when you get him out on the run, it fucks up your whole defense. So now you got people running for you. You got scramble drills. No, Deshaun Watson is not. Deshaun Watson, if Deshaun Watson is a running QB, Andrew Luck is a running QB.
Yeah, that's what we say. But that's what we on the same page though.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about this. Oh, my bad. I thought I hit.
No, I know you were talking about.
Yeah.
I mean,
if Deshaun Watson is a running QB, guess what? Andrew Luck is a running QB.
And I think that's what Eric's saying. Like I think Eric's on the same page as us.
Yeah, no, 100%.
But my thing about the weapon, let's because we about to transition a little bit. Because we way too long on this.
Yeah,
remember when they transitioned from Steve Smith and they went and got him Kelvin Benjamin?
Yep.
Big body receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what did they do the very next draft? They went and drafted Devin Funchess.
Yep.
Now I'm not saying that these two were the greatest people. I'm talking about the psychology of why they got
process.
Yeah. They went and they said Cam is never going to be Drew Brees accurate. You know what I'm saying? We're not saying that he can't throw. We just know that he's not going to be pinpoint accurate. So we need your like you said, we need your catch ratings to be big as hell. So we went and got you some big ass receivers. The Ravens went and got him Hollywood Brown. They went and drafted Devin Duvernay, James Prochet on the bench somewhere, Willie Snead, and Boykin.
Willie?
You know what I'm saying? They finally brought in Dez in the middle of the season, but they haven't been utilizing him as a big receiver, utilizing his skill set. But you got a whole bunch of tiny guys for somebody that's not pinpoint accurate, and you don't even have a system to supplement that. You set up the field with that, bro.
And that's what I'm saying about scheme. That's what I'm saying, that it's not just quarterback, because what does Andy Reid? He gets those little receivers. Guess what? I'm gonna give you some easy throws where you don't necessarily have to worry about pinpoint accuracy. I'm gonna make it so that you can just get him the ball, and guess what? He can do the rest. And like, you know, I hear what you're saying, Eric. Dez is a shell of his old self. Of course, he's not gonna be Dez. But guess what? Dez still has. He has the ability to get you a double-double. He gonna pull down 10 rebounds. Hey, look, go ahead, look, get him, throw him a slant, let him box out, let him box out a corner.
Eric, I want you to go to Dez Bryant's Instagram page and look at the highlights that he showed from practice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Dez
against those Ravens receivers.
Yeah,
Ravens corners.
Yeah. But it's like I said, it's not about Dez. I don't want everybody to be.
Yes, let's not.
It's not about Dez. It's about this. Like I said, it's about the system in place. It's about what you have going on. Like you said, they even with a old self Dez, out of shape Dez, you could have still utilized him. You still could have utilized these other players better than what you was doing.
So, and here's like I propose this to you all, but think about it like this. Had the Ravens put the top two receivers from the division around Lamar, so you have Higgins and a Jarvis, you have a Tyler Boyd and a T. Higgins, you put Claypool and Juju around Lamar, that offense looks a lot different because you have those receivers who are going to work across the middle, but you also have a big body that's going to just go up and make a play. That's just going to use his size to make a play. Bro, look at Allen Robinson up in Chicago. Look at the quarterbacks he's played with.
Boy.
He's a big receiver. And you know what? I think he might have just in his career. No, I can't say that. Brandon Marshall probably played with the worst quarterbacks in his career. But Allen Robinson is up there. We're playing with some shitty ass quarterbacks, especially when it comes to accuracy, and he still get it done. You know why? Catch radius. And Brandon Marshall, catch radius. Even DeAndre Hopkins, before he got Deshaun, he was out there catching passes from what's that big muff?
I forgot his name.
Not Ryan Mallett. He
was too though, but I forgot his name from Denver. Brock Osweiler.
Yeah, bro, he's catching passes from Brock Osweiler, still in the top 3 in the league. You know why? Because he got a catch radius. So all that bullshit coming his way, he's still gonna bring it down. Man, somebody covering Hollywood Brown, they gonna push his little ass out the way.
It's a fact. We found Kyrie, bro.
For real?
They found Kyrie, bro, and he spoke to the media.
Wow, he looks sad. He looks sad.
Yeah,
sad.
And we had two. I think we had 2 reports today in the group that we discussed them, and it was like, what is he really going to do? Is his heart in it? Is it like, what is he really going to do? Me personally, I just want him to articulate his thoughts way better. Not necessarily, I'm not saying he owes us anything. He owes us an explanation because they don't owe us anything. I just think that I know that you're a tough-skinned dude because you take a lot of criticism. You take a lot of unwarranted criticism. Right. But it's like you can avoid a lot of some of these instances by just stating what's going on.
Bro, that's all and outside of basketball, right? Because I know I've said some stuff about Kyrie, and mainly it was basketball. But I've also said that something like the comment where sometimes I wish Kyrie would shut up and dribble. It's because he doesn't articulate the way that I think someone who thinks the way he is articulating should. His point, he may really mean well.
Yeah.
But his thoughts don't come off like that. And when he speaks, it only brings more criticism to him.
Correct.
When you pair it with his actions.
But he's already a target. He could say, yo, Brooklyn the best borough in New York. And people from Long Island, hey, what you mean, son? Oh, he's a target.
But what has caused that target though? Has it been partially because of the things that he said?
Yeah, but they still pick and choose. They still pick and choose. It's a lot of people that say stupid stuff in the media, bro. And it's a lot of stuff that we just let go under the rug. Like,
no,
okay,
100%. It's a lot of stuff that we
don't allow Kawhi to talk.
He don't talk.
But he don't talk. But Paul George can speak up, and we ready to vilify him. You feel what I'm saying? We pick
because he should have never gave himself a nickname. You ain't playoff P. You ain't that.
See what I'm saying? And the fact that people, but like I said, the people don't like Paul George, they're gonna you know what? Yeah, we're gonna ride with that.
But and here's my thing, because I kind of get where all of the hate's coming, because I've had Dwight Howard. I'll use Dwight Howard as an example.
Prime example.
Because I've gotten into so many discussions with people when I tell them Dwight Howard is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Clear as day.
It's clear as day. Dwight Howard is a first ballot NBA Hall of Famer. And people be like, are you fucking serious? No, he's not. He doesn't. What has he done? This isn't that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all because of the perception that people have of Dwight Howard.
Every time.
People don't like Dwight Howard. People perceive him as soft. And once Kobe called Dwight Howard soft, it was over for him.
Yeah.
But Dwight Howard, even after that, Dwight Howard has, when it comes to big men, he's still been good. Mm-hmm. After Kobe called him soft, Dwight Howard still has put up better numbers than some big men in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Dikembe Mutombo. He don't hold a match to what Dwight Howard has done in this league. Just look at their resumes. Dwight Howard is a first ballot Hall of Famer, but it's the perception. And so I understand why people don't like Kyrie. But I think what happens is now with Kyrie, he's still active. He's still prevalent. He's still talking. And it's almost like he still doesn't recognize
You don't.
some of the stuff he's bringing. Like some of the stuff that he's saying is bringing more on him.
But I think that's a clear not wanting to recognize that.
Yeah, no. I think, and that's what I was about to say. So I don't think that he can necessarily complain about what's going on when he does contribute to it. I think if you have the self-awareness to say certain things, you need to also have the self-awareness to be like, you know what? Why did they criticize me about that? And I know that I won't say that I know, but I think Kyrie should listen to some people and see where their criticism stems from. Yeah. So maybe they can be like, you know what? I'm trying to do all this stuff outside of basketball, but people see me in the club with my mask off. Maybe that was bad optics. Mm-hmm. And I need to fix the optics of stuff because this one right here, we live in a microwave society. People don't have the patience to watch whole games. They just watch highlights. You can tell by the analysts. I want to go through that very first statement. We live in a microwave society.
Correct. That's from my guy, Cannon.
That's from Cannon. We live in a microwave society, and people are only going to see the headline. So people will be like, Kyrie hasn't shown up for the Nets, and he's in the club with his mask off. Correct. They don't care about what's going on. They don't care why you at a party with your mask off. You haven't come to work.
You haven't told us why.
And you haven't told us why, and you're at a party with your mask off. And I think when you're trying to send a message and have regular people feel sympathy for you, I can't go to a party after not calling my boss and telling him I'm not coming to work. And then he happens to show up at that party or something and be like, why you ain't come to work? Because you know what's going to happen to me? I'm going to get fired.
Before we run out of time and to cut you off, let's get some comments because some questions in here. Does Kyrie coming back tomorrow hurt the Nets?
Yes.
Yes. You know what's crazy? Because James Harden and Kevin Durant are having the time of their life balling. They're playing ball. Harden is looking the same. He hasn't have to change nothing about his game. Still Harden and still dribble, still passing. You know, still a walking bucket. You know, we never discredited that. It's just, you know, they're playing the game freely.
And you know what's going to happen now that Kyrie's coming back? It's like when you and your favorite cousin about to go somewhere, and your mama be like, "Take your little brother too." You like, for real?
Yeah. Like, damn, we were having fun.
Damn. And then now, little brother coming. Oh, let me play. Can I play? Can I play Madden? Let me get the controller.
There you go.
That's gonna be Kyrie. Hey, come on, give me the ball. Give me the ball. And then once again, it's just like, all right, now, Kyrie. Go ahead.
He better come off the bench.
No. Come on, guys. I understand your thought process in this, but that out of that three, you can't ask nail one of them to come off the bench.
And not at this point in their career.
Not at this point in their careers. You can't not ask a single one of them to come off the bench. Your best bet. Go ahead.
I know. I get what he's saying.
No, I get it.
For the betterment of the team, it makes sense. You could come off. You could still be Kyrie coming off the bench, get as many shots as you want. You don't have to second guess nothing. You can do what you want to do. In a basketball sense, it
makes so much sense.
In a personality,
that shit ain't happening.
That shit ain't happening. Not one bit.
I don't want you to ever think that that's about to happen because, it's like what Eric said. You didn't pay that much money.
Oh yeah,
get Kyrie.
Yeah.
You didn't pay that money for that boy to come off the bench.
You could win got Lou Williams if that's the case. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, you want to talk about Matt Barnes' comments where he said trade Kyrie and pick up assets?
Makes sense because
it makes so much sense.
The way that they've been balling, it makes perfect sense. It seemed like it's been a seamless transition, a perfect match. The Nets been balling. They just beat the Bucks last night. I mean, get you some
scoring off the bench and some defensive players
if you can. But I don't know if he has a no trade clause. I don't know if that's going. You know, maybe be quite honest. They may still want to ball with Kyrie.
They might. Just from a basketball construction standpoint, I don't see it working. It's the same way we talked about last year when I came on here. Well, I think like both of us said that Harden and Russell, that shit ain't gonna work.
I thought it was going to work better than what it was.
Oh yeah, so I said that shit's not gonna work because of it's all fine and dandy until the games start happening. Because there's plenty of times I didn't have some of my best friends. I didn't put them on at work, and then once they got to work, I'm like, "Hey, bro, the fuck is you doing?"
You know, we think about it as a basketball sense, like, oh, you know, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. I think these hoopers think differently. I think they don't want to go to the gym. I think if they go to the gym, right, and they say, "Oh, boom," Katie say, "Yo, I got Harden." You know what I'm saying? And the next person, this is hypothetical. The next person that's supposed to pick, and he supposed to pick his
Ooh, that's a motherfucking fact.
Oh yeah, that
adult
right
ballet.
There.
That adult ballet, baby.
But think about it, like you say, the next person is supposed to be a 3-and-D defender. You like, oh, I need a defender to play some defense. You were supposed to pick that as a basketball standpoint, but it's like, boy, Kyrie sitting right there. Let's pick up Kyrie. Yeah. Like, you're going to pick nobody goes to the gym in a gym right now in America and picks the worst player.
Absolutely not.
You're going to always pick the best player and think you're going to make it work. That's just a basketball hooper's mentality. But we as a basketball construction thinking of different. You're going to need a role player. You're going to need a me on that team. A glue guy. You're going to need somebody like that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I think they need just kind of like someone who's going to go out there, play defense, get a bucket when they need it, but it's not going to need the ball, not going to demand the ball, not going to want his share of ball handling duties. You know what I mean? You need someone's like, okay, if we want Harden to run around picks or set up KD or whatever the case may be, and I just need to bring the ball up, facilitate the offense or whatever, and play defense, it's like some Rondo shit or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what they need. They don't need somebody who's going to want the ball, who's going to be looking for their own shot.
Do you think Kyrie can be a true point guard, though? He's never been that true point guard. You know, he's never been a true point guard. I'm not saying that he can't pass, but he's been a scoring threat his entire life. You know what I'm saying? But Harden is a playmaker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He is a playmaker. So you can utilize his playmaking skill set. You can make it. You can make it work. Like I said, we still reserve. Like I said, they're coming back. We're going to see. So it's going. You know, it's going to be. Hold on. Let me see.
All right, Ross.
I do. I pick the worst in the gym. Give me AJ or Hill, and I'll make it work. Well, you picking me, we're gonna make it work, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm glue guy. I'm glue. I'm 3-and-D. You know what I'm saying? I'm 3-and-D, Ross. Ross, are you even good? We not even gonna do this because
Ross, you don't want to play with me because I got 2 flagrants waiting on you.
We're gonna be here all night if I go back and forth.
I got 2 flagrants. That's all I need, and I'm gonna win.
Funny, hey. we go. It was one topic that we did not discuss, and we're going to table that because we definitely need Cannon for that. And we really, if it goes to like we really wanted to go, the topic might be the whole damn show.
Okay,
but we're gonna leave off with it. We're gonna leave off with this because we out of time. AJ, I need to hear your wildest excuse for getting out of work since we was on the Kyrie topic.
All right, so my wildest excuse. It was at my last job. I was working. I still got the text messages to prove it. So at the time, I was supposed to go to work, but I missed my flight. Bro, I'm in Miami still. I text my boss like, hey, my baby got the flu. I can't make it back. And at this time, I didn't have no kids, but I'm such a private person. Nobody knew my life. And I knew that whenever you bring kids into the situation, don't nobody question you, bro. And so I was like, yo, my son got the flu. I had to take him to the hospital. I can't make it in today. I got back and stuff like that. Everything was cool. And probably like 2 weeks later, somebody was like, "Wait, so how old is your son?" I'm like, "I ain't got no son."
He told her this though out of five.
Bro,
Like,
no, hey, but that ass, my boss, she was cool as shit though. She texted me and was like, "You don't have no kids?" I was like, "Nah." I just kind of knew that we was in busy season and you wasn't gonna let me off without no like dire excuse. You wouldn't, because I've come to work, like I'm one of those people, I don't never miss work. I come to work sick and shit like that. And I was like, "Yeah, yo, put me in the corner." And they did. And so they was like, "You sick? You ain't calling off because you damn sick. You like money too much." And I was like, "Hey, bro, I can't. And they was like, because they was denying people who already had like vacation time set up, and they was like, "Hey, no, shit's crazy." So I was like, "Hey, bro, Claude, he's sick." I gave him an old ass name. He's sick. We can't.
Yo,
go ahead.
I was working at Taco Bell, right? Yeah, it was my first job. So I didn't so I'm not the call out person or all that, but we had got robbed though. Like Taco Bell got robbed. I wasn't there at all.
Oh, bro.
Like I said, I wasn't there at all though, right? So I'm like, okay, cool, we got robbed.
Because that would have been a better story.
Yeah, it definitely would have. It definitely would have. But me, I wanted to I hated that job at this point. So I wanted to get fired or because I just couldn't quit for some reason.
Right. I get you.
So I told them, I say, "Listen, y'all, like I fear for like my life right now, since we ain't got no security. Like I ain't coming back to work till like things cool off. Like, cause they may run the block,
spin that block.
Spin that block.
We need some glass. We need that thick glass. Hey, no.
But
so
look,
y'all not from Cincinnati, but it's this Mount Airy Taco Bell that Chris talking about.
It get real.
Oh, it get active. You gonna get a chalupa and a concussion.
But look, so I said I wasn't coming to work though, right? So obviously I was in high school at this point, so I didn't go to work. I'm at the crib, just busy time is like it's the rush hour, dinner time, everybody working. So they was busy as hell because obviously I was supposed to have been there. So my manager, I was real cool with her. She was like, "Hey, listen, man, you got to just come to work. You just come with me. We're going to finish the rest of the shift, and then we be out." So I walk in after the whole shift is over, after the rush is over. Oh, homeboy was tight. He like, "Oh, nah, you want to show up now? Oh, no." Like he wanted to fight me. I'm like, "Damn, bro, you that mad at me?" Like, it is what it is. So they were like, "Hey, you should just go home, bro." I'm like, "Well, I didn't want to be here. I didn't
want to come in anyway.
So I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm gonna roll out
to take my pain and suffering."
Yeah, give a damn about these tacos. So I'm hell in the hood, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn about Taco Bell.
Hey, you feel me? Like fuck this shit. Take two gorditas for my pain and suffering. I'm heading home, nigga.
They ain't even rob us with no gun.
Oh, hell no.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm sitting there like, bro, I ain't coming to work, right? Y'all got to get it together. But listen, that was episode 93. You can catch us on all major podcast platforms, 3Man Weave, Instagram, Twitter, 3Man Weave _ You can email us at podcast.3.man.weave@gmail.com. Hopefully my schedule doesn't change anymore.
Hey, bro. Yes. It's a reason why. If y'all trying to figure out what days y'all want to catch us live, blame it all on Hill. His shit change every single day. He work at the abortion clinic and they keep pushing his schedule. So please support Joe Biden so they can fund abortion clinics properly and Hill can have a set schedule.
Oh man, y'all protect yourself. They about to get crazy in the next few days. Cannon will be back next week. Other Cannon, post our picks. We definitely will post our picks at the same time for you next time. I will have the best picks this week. I'm calling it.
Fuck Cannon. I'm AJ El Presidente. My picks. I'm going undefeated. Goddamn it! You could put $1,000 parlay on my picks and split the pot with me.
Yeah, No bet the house on me.
Don't do that, please.
But
because I don't want nobody trying to fight me.
We out.
Because I'll shoot you. You.